Solve the following, sketch the solution on the number line, and give the answer in interval notation. The inequality we have is 5x minus x plus 2 is less than 7x minus 5. Okay. Now we know that we do want to isolate x, right? We have to get the x by itself, but in this case, right, we see an x on both sides of the inequality. Okay. Now we still have to follow the same rules, right? The operations that we can do. First thing we should do is simplify each side as much as we can. Okay, so we see on the left side here, right, we can certainly combine the 5x minus 1x. Right, so that equals 4x plus 2. And on the right side, we still have the 7x minus 5. Okay. Now we have to start moving terms from one side to the other. Right, you notice, so we simplify each side separately as much as we can. Okay, now, once we've done that, we have to start moving terms around from one side to the other. Okay. So notice there's 4 terms, right? So there's 4 different things that we can do, so it doesn't really matter. There's no wrong first step here. Okay, most students like to have the x on the left side though, right? So instead of subtracting 4x to both sides, I'm going to subtract the 7x to both sides here. By doing so, this x's do cancel out on the right side, okay, and then 4x minus 7x is negative 3x. Everything else stays the same here. Once again, I want to isolate the x term, right? So from here, I should subtract 2 to both sides. Positive 2 minus 2 cancels out. So we get negative 3x is less than negative 5 minus 2, which is negative 7. Now for the last step, right, to isolate x, I need to divide both sides by negative 3. So when I divide by negative 3, we know that negative 3 divided by negative 3 is just equal to 1, right? That cancels out. So we are just left with x. That's good, right? Now on the right side, we have negative 7 divided by negative 3. We do end up with the fraction, so I'll just leave that as 7 over 3. But because we divided by the negative, remember we divided both signs by the negative, and whenever we do that, we have to switch the direction of the inequality. So we get x greater than 7/3. Okay. So if we draw the number line, okay, I'll put 0 here for reference. And this is a positive 7/3. Okay, so let me put the 7/3 there. Next, we want to determine if it's a closed or an open circle. Because it's strictly greater than, we don't see that line underneath here, right? That tells us it's going to be an open circle here. And we want all numbers greater than that. Remember, greater than means numbers that are bigger. And whenever we go to the bigger numbers, we always go to the right side. Okay, so this should be our solution on the number line, right, our graph. Okay, and finally, in interval notation, the interval, right, is a range of numbers, right? It tells us the smallest number in the interval and the largest number. Well, we can see by what we drew on the number line, right? The smallest number in this interval is 7/3. We should put a parentheses to that, okay, because it's an open circle. And the largest number is infinity. So then in interval notation, this should be our final answer.